Sometimes a single event can just spark a massive, overdue conversation. And that's exactly what's happened with AI. There was this recent high stakes conflict that has kicked off a brand new and, frankly, urgent debate. And this isn't science fiction. This is happening right now between the Pentagon and a major AI company. And it is forcing all of us to ask some very, very big questions. And this quote from Dean Ball, it just nails it. He's talking about his standoff between the U.S. Defense Department and the AI company Anthropic. But this wasn't just some headline-grabbing drama. It exposed a huge problem. We have literally no real rules for governing artificial intelligence, even as it gets more powerful by the day. So this whole incident really shines a spotlight on a massive choice that we're all facing. You could say humanity is standing at a fork in the road, and the path we pick for AI is going to define our future. The stakes, well, they could not be higher.
And it really boils down to two very different futures. On one side, you've got this race to replace. In that world, AI takes over our jobs, then it starts making our decisions, and all that power flows to a handful of unaccountable companies and their machines. But there's another path, one where AI expands human potential, a future where we use AI as a tool to make us better, smarter, more capable, where we, the humans, stay firmly in control.
So which path do people want? Well, it turns out the public has a very, very strong opinion. Recent polling shows that a staggering 95% of Americans are against an unregulated, all-out race to build superintelligence. That's practically everybody saying, whoa, hold on, we need some guardrails here. So with Washington kind of dragging its feet, a really interesting bipartisan coalition has stepped into that void. They've created the very thing the government hasn't, a blueprint for what responsible AI should look like. And it's called the Pro-Human Declaration. And get this. This wasn't just some knee-jerk reaction. It was written and signed by hundreds of experts and public figures before that whole Pentagon drama even blew up. The timing just makes its message feel that much more urgent, you know? It's like they saw this coming. So what's actually in this thing? Well, it's all built around 5 main pillars. Yep, the whole declaration rests on these 5 core principles, or pillars, and every single one is designed to make sure AI serves us, humanity, and not the other way around. So here's the breakdown. First, and this is the big one, keep humans in charge. Simple, right? Second, avoid letting all this incredible power get concentrated in just a few hands. Third, protect the things that make us human. Fourth is about preserving our individual liberties. And finally, number 5, and this is absolutely key, hold the AI companies legally accountable for what their products do. Now, this isn't just a list of nice ideas. This declaration has some serious teeth. It calls for an outright ban on developing superintelligence, that's AI smarter than humans, until we can scientifically prove it's safe. It demands mandatory off switches on the most powerful systems and a complete ban on AI that can copy itself or, get this, resist being shut down. I mean, these are some seriously muscular rules. Okay, so having a powerful framework is one thing, but how in the world do you actually turn that into real-world rules? Let's take a look at the actual path to regulation that they're proposing. And this is really the central challenge, isn't it? It feels almost impossible. How can you guarantee something this complex is safe before it's already out there, in the wild? Well, it turns out there's a really good analogy for how this could actually work. And this quote from MIT physicist Max Tegmark just explains it perfectly. We do this with medicine. We don't let pharmaceutical companies just throw whatever new drug they've cooked up onto the market. The FDA makes them prove it's safe first. The idea is to apply that exact same logic to powerful AI. It's not a crazy new idea. It's a safety model that we've been using for decades. So, where do you start with something this huge? Well, the most likely way to get things moving in Washington isn't some abstract fear of robot overlords. It's something much more immediate and emotional, protecting our kids. And this is where a concept called pre-deployment testing comes into play. Imagine this. Before any company can release a new AI chatbot for kids, it has to go through mandatory safety testing. They'd have to screen it for all sorts of risks, like emotional manipulation or making mental health issues worse. And once you establish that principle for kids' products, you can start to expand it from there. You know, what makes this whole movement truly remarkable isn't just the ideas themselves, it's the people who are behind them. We are talking about one of the most ideologically strange and unprecedented coalitions you could possibly imagine.
For example, one of the people who put their name on his pro-human declaration is the former Trump advisor Steve Bannon. And on that exact same document, you will also find the signature of Susan Rice, who was President Obama's national security advisor. I mean, come on, when is the last time you saw those two names agree on anything?
So what on earth is the common ground here? As Max Tegmark puts it, it's actually pretty simple. They're both human. And when the fundamental question becomes, do we want a future for humans or a future for machines? Well, that kind of cuts through all the other political noise, doesn't it? Their shared humanity puts them on the same team.
And really, that's the ultimate takeaway. This technology is so powerful, so paradigm-shifting, that it's forcing people from completely opposite ends of the political world onto the same side. And the question that leaves us with is a profound one. Now that we're all being forced onto the same team, which future are we collectively going to choose? One for humans, or one for the machines we're building?